Hello, it's Mike Claas, and I am at sunny Knoll Farms just north of Perry, New York. Perry, New York is in the western part of New York State, and it is about 55 miles east and a little bit south of Buffalo, so about an hour out of Buffalo, and 45 minutes south and west of Rochester, to put it in perspective for you. However, when I travel around and mention New York, a lot of people automatically think of New York City, and often don't realize New York has this whole other state to it that is quite beautiful, has a lot of wilderness, a lot of farmland, a lot of dairy farms mostly is what I see when I come up here. But anyhow, I was up here at Kelly's Garage in Perry, New York, who is a versatile dealer, also sells AGCO such as Massey, Gleaner, and they sell Vernolen, Bobcat skid loaders, and a couple other short lines. And they had just sold Sunny Knoll Farms a 400 versatile tractor, four-wheel drive, a few years ago, and you could see that painted on the barn at the beginning of the video. And they have just recently purchased a new versatile 500 with a Grouser silage blade on it. I got a little bit of footage of both out in the field chopping and also at the silage pile, and then unloading the haylage and pushing and packing it with the tractors. They're out here with their Claas 960 chopping third cutting hay. They have merged several windrows together and chopping right into the truck, hauling it back to the farm. Got video for you to see of both of that, but we're going around a short field here. They're getting this cleaned up, and I'm going to bring you some aerial footage as well as on the ground footage. So the haylage, or the chopped hay, is coming in from the fields in the truck, and they are dumping it out here, and they are pushing it up on the pile with this versatile 500 with the blade, and also a Case IH 385. Their versatile 400 does not have a blade on it, and they use that for other jobs, but this 385 here, like I said, has a blade on it, so these two were pushing and packing. So what they're doing here is pushing the feed or the silage up on the pile, driving back and forth to pack it down to push all the air, work all the air out of the harvested crop, so it will ferment and properly store. And of course, as you can see here, once they're done, they will cover it and let it ferment and then start feeding it after that. There was a lot going on at this farm today. They were chopping haylage, pushing and packing it. They also had semis hauling manure out of the pit. I do not know how many cows they milk here, but just looking from the aerial shots, I'm going to say quite a few. However, as I mentioned in some of my other videos, I don't ask guys how many acres they farm. I don't ask them how many cows they milk or livestock. I just don't ask them questions. So, like I said, but you can see it looks like a pretty good size operation here. In this area, New York does have a lot of good sized dairy farms, which is nice, rolling terrain with dairy farms, and see a lot of corn, alfalfa hay, and some soybeans. And get north of here and you will see some vegetables. Another thing you might notice on these big tractors up here, when you get out in the Midwest and stuff where I work at a lot of the times, a lot of the big four-wheel drive tractors do not have a 3-point hitch or a PTO. They're what they call a bareback. But up here, since these tractors are used for more than just tillage, pretty much all the four-wheel drives up here do have a PTO and also a 3-point hitch. The 3-point hitch on these big tractors they may use to pull a manure drag line, or even a big weight will go back on the 3-point hitch. When they're pushing and packing this corn silage, they want to get these tractors as heavy as possible to help pack that pile down better. So you can get a shot of that right there. But anyways, they're bringing this in, and like I said, you can see what's going on here. Bringing it from the field, they'll dump it out on the flat here. The tractors will come and push it up and just work the pile back and forth. And when there's nothing to push, they'll just drive the tractors back and forth, working it and packing it down. So as you can see here, this field is got windrows very far apart, and like I said, they mow this down and they'll let it set maybe for a day or so and dry a little bit. Then they'll come in with what they call a windrow merger, and they will merge several windrows of hay together and give this chopper, this forage harvester, a nice big windrow of hay to eat and keep it full for a better length of cut. And these machines are so big, these forage harvesters have a lot of horsepower and they can eat a lot of material. And when you get them going, you also got to have a fleet of trucks or a fleet of wagons or dump carts. Keep this thing moving. These big self-propelled forage harvesters probably start out in the $500,000 on up. So you buy one of these, you want to keep it working. There's only a handful of farm equipment manufacturers that make a self-propelled forage harvester. Claas probably being the leader, at least in my travels. That's probably the one I see the most of. John Deere makes them, and New Holland makes them, and Knoll. And also, out of Russia, Rostelmash makes one as well. And I believe in some YouTube videos or other brochures I see where maybe Fendt even has one that they use over in Europe that I have never seen in the USA. But all these self-propelled forage harvesters, even though like the John Deere's, New Hollands, which we would consider a North American company, all self-propelled forage harvesters, as far as I know, are made in Europe. So, for example, the Claas forage harvester you see here is built in Germany, and then it would be shipped over from Germany on a boat to the Port of Baltimore. So I was just recently at the Port of Baltimore and seen several of these setting. So it's not too uncommon to be going down Interstate 70 out of Pennsylvania on west and seeing these being hauled on a tractor trailer on a lowboy and being hauled across the country to its destination. So that's how they do that. And I have several more minutes of video ahead for you to watch, so please enjoy. There's going to be different angles of here in the field, in another field, and of course the tractor's working the silage pile. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for many, many more farm equipment videos from Mike Less.